conditioning. Let's see how he sizes up.
Lee, that is the Arnold Classic champion of a week ago, Nick Walker, who just shook up the world of bodybuilding with a second pro win in this year, and he's making his debut at 26 years old here at the Olympia.
Yeah, he looks awesome, man. He looks great, nice and tight. You know, the deal is always being able to repeat a peak.
That's it.
That's the deal. You know,
it's not always easy to do.
No, it's not.
It's a lot easier when you're young, though. And he's one of the youngest in the open lineup.
Now, guys, there goes a question. The Arnold Classic was 2 weeks ago.
That's
How
right.
hard is it to hold that conditioning?
It's very hard to hold that conditioning. And, you know, from what I see, it's just a little bit soft.
There's a film over.
Yeah, it's a slight film.
And that's early because we got to compare him to the other guys. But yeah, lighting also plays a factor. This is the prejudging. It's a 2-day show.
That's right.
So the critique that we're giving right now, these guys can hear it and take it to work and make it work for them by tomorrow because they're going to pose all night tonight.
That's right. That's right. You know, they'll squeeze that extra little film off, and tomorrow could be a whole other ball game.
That's right. It's a marathon. You got 2 days. Did you ever compete with a 2-day Olympia in your day?
No, we never had that.
It was a 1-day shot.
1-day shot, man. 3 judging in the morning, evening show, and there you go.
That's right. It was 30 years ago. Lee Haney in 1991 walked away from bodybuilding, winning right here in Orlando, Florida, defeating the Shadow, Dorian Yates, in his rookie debut attempt.
Boy, and for a man that doesn't look much over 30, that's pretty impressive.
Lee is the right old age. You're 61, right? You're 61?
61.
61 years young.
All right, guys, this is his first Olympia appearance. Coming in from Italy. He won the Mr. Big Evolution, took 4th in the Puerto Rico Pro. Andrea Presti.
Got a good package.
Little slight on the muscle, Lee, for his height.
Right.
Could have a little bit more body mass, body weight. You know, we've always said this, that the titles are won from the back, and that's part of the area he's got to bring up.
Yeah, lower back, you know, not as much density there, not as much thickness, so
that comes from deadlifting, or?
Well, it's come from some heavy bent over barbell rolls, heavy one-arm dumbbell rolls, and hyperextensions, weighted hyperextensions.
Right, he's got some width, just needs the thickness.
That's right. Beautiful shape.
Yeah.
Beautiful shape.
Well, and this is his first Olympia appearance, so welcome to the big leagues. Welcome to the show.
If you don't know, Lee, I'm kind of foul of bodybuilding because I try to find the weaknesses, right? You can see the strengths, but the weaknesses are the ones that hold you back. You got to figure out what those are so you can go to the gym. And this is a guy that's got shape and balance. Patrick Moore won a competition earlier in the year.
I love Patrick Moore. When I first saw him, man, it totally blew me away. I understand Patrick was trained by Lee at
first,
Lee Labrada, right?
So, yeah.
Looks great.
He was at the Labrada Classic a couple months ago when I was out there emceeing, and we got to chat, and he was certain he put on some quality mass.
Yeah.
And I see it.
I think Patrick won the California Pro earlier this year and was contemplating taking the rest of the year off, actually. And me and Bob had him on the Monday Night Muscle conversation, and we said, look, what are you waiting for? These opportunities may never come again.
Exactly.
You don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. You got to go. If you're qualified, you got to go, and he's here.
Looks good. Very good job. Could be just a little tighter, you know?
Yeah. Of course, the skin's got a little bit of water underneath it.
But, you know, these two show events, I mean, it takes some science to really understand how to, you know, hit your timing just right with this.
Absolutely. But Patrick's a more popular bodybuilder based on his overall aesthetics.
Great shape. Great shape.
And a really inspiring persona on stage.
Yeah, beautiful personality.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from the Netherlands, the conqueror, William Onen.
All right, William made it.
Now, this is Mr. Peak here. He always hits his peak.
He missed his peak 2 weeks ago because he couldn't get in to compete at the Arnold Classic.
Oh, my goodness.
So he saved it for this week, and let's find out what he's going to bring. All of about 5'6", 230 pounds, maybe?
It's a lot of muscle, baby.
Missing the Arnold didn't hurt Whitney Jones.
It looks like it didn't hurt William either.
Sure doesn't.
Big, thick biceps. Arnold Classic champion. He's no stranger to the Olympia stage.
Now, Sean, how's this conditioning compared to last year and the year before?
That's a good question, because I'm going to have to compare him with the other guys when they come out together. I like that his calves are popping. It's an area that a lot of black bodybuilders have struggled with, is the calves. And his calves are stand out along with his biceps. Short, compact, full chest, full arms. He's got peekaboo striations in the glutes.
I don't see anything missing with Williams. You know, he's not a real wide bodybuilder. Shoulder width is not that wide, but
right.
Hey man, he works with what he has and he maximizes it.
That's what keeps him in the hunt.
That's right.
This guy's taking out much bigger bodybuilders. He's even beat Big Lonnie in the past.
Yeah. Really knows how to present. He understands and feels his body.
Yeah, and he's won all over the world. I've witnessed this guy win in San Francisco's, I think it was the Golden State Championships. I witnessed him win, I think, over in Finland. And here he is, he won the Honor Classic a couple of times. This guy's a real deal.
Oh, yeah. He's bringing it.
Now that's the pose I've seen it better. The midsection is short like Kai Green, but that's got to be really ripped up in order to hit that type of shot.
That's right.
It's not right now.
Now, Lee, Sean's got a ton of knowledge up there. Sean, who did he lose to at the last Arnold in 2018 or 2019? Who took second?
Brandon Curry?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Egypt.
That's my $100, Lee.
If it was bodybuilding Jeopardy, I would want him.
Yeah, he lost to Brandon Curry, but he came back and he won the contest the next year. So Williams is a real deal. He's been hovering around the top for quite some time. He's got some nice big full quads. Another Egyptian, a la Big Rami. Holding some water.
Up above he is, but down below he certainly isn't.
No, the quads are nice and full.
This is his first Olympia.
Oh, it is?
It is indeed.
Wow, he looks good. Very good shape. As Sean was saying, he's holding little, that film is on him.
Yeah, his quads are overpowering the hamstrings.
Yeah.
The hands are almost invisible by comparison to the quadriceps, especially from the rear. And of course, the back has a nice little film of water and he needs that density you were talking about, Lee. Maybe a little bit more heavy lifting to build up the thickness.
Yeah.
Got plenty of width.
Now, Lee, Rich asked earlier how to qualify and either win a competition, or he actually did 6 competitions with 4 top 5s. So he racked up the points working hard.
Yes, sure did.
He stayed ready for a long time.
And that's hard when you're trying to peak at the end. You're trying to stay ready.
That's right.
Lee, you only did 1 show a year pretty much your entire career after you earned your pro status.
Yeah, you know, Robbie Robinson said something to me early in my career. He said, Lee, if you want to keep the body nice and fresh and healthy and keep your systems excited for the next event, don't overtrain it. Don't overstress it. Right. And that's what I made sure I didn't do. So when I did hit that 1 show for the year,
ready.
I was ready.
Well, that's what I'm saying. These guys that get here on points, they run out of gas by the time they get here because they're having to do this peaking thing all the time, and it doesn't always translate on the big day.
Sure doesn't. You can tell the tired muscle.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome
Tough enough
from the
for 1 show.
USA,
Do multiple.
Akeem Williams.
And this would be a multiple for Akeem. We saw him earlier this year in Chicago. Actually, he was in Atlanta at the Chicago Pro. And we saw him 2 weeks ago, and it wasn't popping for him there in Columbus, Ohio. Just at first blush, I don't know that there's a whole lot of more detail that was added to him from Ohio. But bodybuilders, sometimes when they pose, they come alive.
You know, John, one of the secrets that we used back some years ago, I learned this from Al Rebecca. You know, the night before the competition, man, you would go to either hit a sauna or steam.
Yeah.
You would go through your mandatory poses, you know, at least 3 times, holding each for about 10 seconds.
Sweat the
and
water
it would
out.
squeeze the water out.
Right.
So the next morning, in our case, because that was the pre-judging, we were ready to peak. we didn't have to wait till the evening in order for the muscle to pop.
I think you're giving away all your secrets.
I know it. Hey, they can't help me now. At least these guys are here.
We got to hold a clinic like a day before with these athletes here so they understand there's some things you can do to dry out a little bit. And I imagine he'll dry out a little bit more by tomorrow, which is to do.
Yeah, he'll look better tomorrow. He's holding that film. Several of them we've seen so far.
Right.
Is holding a slight film.
Yeah, I think the playing field, Tim, is equal for a lot of these bodybuilders because right now no one's come out and wowed them.
That's right.
He is one of our biggest guys. Yeah. So conditioning is always going to be an issue for the big ones.
Please welcome from Canada,
All right. Here's another guy with great shape that I do believe moved up from physique.
Yeah, he did classic physique one time.
physique.
Yeah. He actually started as a bodybuilder, did classic, came up to bodybuilding. And when we last saw him, we were talking about him being a very thin, open, heavyweight bodybuilder that needed more muscle because of his height. And here he's trying to bring the conditioning with the height, but I don't know that he's added the extra mass that we were waiting for.
He got great shape, though.
Yeah, and he's always had, that's why I said it was classic physique, and he won. I believe he won the New York Classic for physique at one time. I think he's about a 6-foot bodybuilder.
Wow.
He is 5'11".
Yeah, 5'11", yes, that's my height. You know, the cool thing about when you have height like that, if you can get the muscle to fill out and everything fits where it needs to, that's an awesome deal on stage.
Well, you're kind of a unicorn, Lee, because you filled out at 23, 24 years old and ran away with titles. These guys are much older than you. See, like, we're talking about a 30-plus bodybuilder, and we're waiting for them to fill out, whereas you filled out in your 20s. So you're an anomaly. So you do, there is life. I mean, Hunter is the real deal.
Yeah, sure is.
Justin served notice at the Arnold Classic 2 weeks ago with a top 5 finish there. I believe he was 4th at the Arnold Classic. He's in good condition for him. Different type of physique. Great biceps, but a little slight on the tricep department. You'll notice when he hits that shot.
Yeah.
Does it look like one quadricep is bigger than the other quadricep?
It's a little bit different there. Like I said, the tricep looks a bit weak.
Yeah, that's an area he has to bring up to match those biceps.
This is his 3rd Olympia appearance, and it looks as though he's been climbing up those ranks. Of course, he's looking to do that again today.
Yeah, he'll be tighter tomorrow also.
Now, Lee, I never saw your posing trunks kind of hiked up a little bit. Are these hiked up a little bit too much? I mean, does that accentuate or what?
I don't know. I
mean, could you do it? Would you have done it? I see it a lot. You're going to see it a lot tonight,
this is a whole nother era, man.
Okay, I never did it. That's all I'm saying.
I never did it either.
But today it's fashion. A lot of guys are doing it. I think you saw William Bonek try it, huh?
I guess it's for the show glute striations, I guess, you know, to maximize that. That's what I would think, you know.
Yeah, the shorts have gotten much smaller since you retired.
But don't you want to leave something to the imagination?
I tried to.
But my wife won't let me wear them anymore.
All right, Big Bruley, a year ago this contest, got stuck in Turkey on his way over from Oxygen Gym. And didn't get to compete. He had to watch it on TV. He's here tonight.
Always impressive.
Rolly won the Puerto Rico Pro 5th a couple weeks ago at the Arnold Classic. And he is a fan favorite for sure.
Man,
he actually won the People's Choice Award here one year.
His muscle is just mounds of muscle.
But the condition, Lee, is where he's suffering here. And it's being exposed right now in front of us. Because we just saw Hadi Choopan what definition actually looks like. And here, Rolly looks like he's holding a nice film of water.
Yeah, I've seen him better. But man, if he could just ever get it right.
Yeah, we're saying that about Big Ramy, and he did.
Yeah.
Rolly's running out of time. He's not getting any younger.
That's right. You got to get it right. I think sometimes what happens in the off-season, the guys allow their weight to get too high or get too heavy.
Right.
You know, we stayed around, what, 12, 15 rounds. Over, that's right, striking distance over our competition weight. We never got up 40 pounds over competition weight.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
I think we also stayed busier guest posing as well, which kept us accountable.
Yeah.
I don't see very many bodybuilders guest posing.
No, that's so true.
Well, it's almost become cost inefficient for what a bodybuilder wants to guest pose at an NPC show.
Okay.
Yeah, well.
At the same time, you got to stay close to your training weight so you train muscle and not get too heavy in the offseason.
Right. Nobody want to pay for overweight, guest posing.
That's right. I believe Hollingshead was supposed to compete a year ago here, Tim.
He did. He won a bunch of stuff last year that would have gotten him here.
Yeah.
The British Grand Prix, the European Pro Men's Bodybuilding, and this is now his first Olympia appearance. He looks pretty conditioned, guys.
I think he actually looks better from the rear than the front. And that happens sometimes where you can look better from one direction or the other.
Use more thickness in the back.
Thickness would definitely help, I think.
Yeah.
Wide enough, thickness helps.
But he got good shape.
Yeah,
Very
that's how
good
he got
shape.
here.
Yeah,
I think he got
exactly.
here on the shape. But you see the abs are kind of missing. I think the chest is a little bit flat. The quads would be more separated. He looked better to me from the rear than the front when you pick him apart.
Yeah.
Quads are coming in though.
Yeah.
Big guy like that needs those bigger biceps, bigger triceps.
He is 5'11", so you've got to carry quite a bit.
Right. I like the side chest pose.
So where'd you stay, Lee? About 270, 275 in the offseason?
Oh no, all season for me was about 260. And I competed. My last Olympia, I competed at 254. Other than that, I generally stayed around 248, 250, around that, competition weight. So as we were saying earlier, staying within striking distance, gave you the benefit of not having to starve your muscle off and, train for the show, stay strong, stay full, and feel good.
Yeah, good advice for these guys listening as they go through their journey bodybuilding.
You can't flex it, don't carry it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Can't flex fat, man.
Hang on, I gotta put that somewhere I won't forget it.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from the USA, former Olympia champion, Brandon Curry.
All right, Brand.
Spent all that time over in Kuwait. This
right,
guy's got 4 kids, Tim, at home, and a beautiful bikini mom, wife, I should say, Randy,
All right,
out of
all right.
Tennessee.
I watch all the Pee Wee football that he posts online.
Yeah,
Oh,
his kids are studs.
They are studs.
They sure are. Beautiful family. Beautiful. His whole family is beautiful.
They're having a watch party up in Tennessee at Carbon Culture up there at Mark Loveliner's place.
He's got a gym out there. Flex would have called him Soul Brother #1 when he won the Mr. USA Championships in Las Vegas. And all he did is go on and win shows. He's won the Arnold Classic over in Australia, the Arnold Classic 2019 right here in Ohio. He won the Lou Ferrigno Classic out in Palm Springs.
Yeah, beautiful package. Good balance, good symmetry, nice waist paper. I like all of that about Brandon.
The 15th Mr. Olympia in the history of the game. Wide back, tiny waist. Training out of Oxygen Gym by way of Tennessee.
Now, he guest posed at the Daytona Classic after his Olympia win, and he was definitely conditioned on stage as a guest poser.
This will be his tough test from the rear. That back double bicep standing next to the other guys is going to be tested.
Yeah, it will.
He had to whip. No one's ever said he didn't. The knock on Brandon was the size of his quads in comparison with the other guys. The quads and the hamstrings. And that's going to be where the true test will lie tonight when he's compared with the other bodybuilders. Arms, chest, shoulders, that's all come up.
Yeah, sure have.
That's all come up. Nice look. I like this look.
Yeah, I do too. Excellent presentation too.
Right, I mean, Big Rami's kind of bottom heavy, whereas Brandon's top heavy.
Yeah, yeah. That's right.
Look at this guy.
All right,
about
guys.
muscle.
I messed up earlier and mistook. Sean, you didn't correct me on that one. I mistook Mohammed Shaban's credit for Hassan Mustafa's. He's the one that did 6 shows in 2021, stayed conditioned all year with 4 top 5s to rack up the points to get here.
Yeah, I saw him compete many times, actually. Training out of Santa Monica and Gold's Gym. Big quads, like Paco Batista type quads, Eduardo Kawak type quads.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Go look him up, Eduardo Kawak.
Oh yeah, I remember those boys.
Yeah,
man.
France. This guy's thick and heavily muscular, like Paco Batista from Spain back today. But of course, the knock has always been on him, the condition. So if you're going to carry that kind of muscle, you're going to sacrifice condition.
Exactly right. And again, Sean, I think it goes back to the type of training routine these guys are using.
Yeah.
Because training one body part once a week, it just, you just don't get that type of muscle separation.
You know what I'd like to see this guy do? Go through a high rep workout one day. Drop sets, supersets, and really test the conditioning and stamina of the muscle being worked.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to bust out my calculator for this one, guys, because it's in metric. He gets up as big at 5'7" as 290.
5'7", 290. To put in perspective, I'm 5'7", I compete at 212.
Wow.
So there's some perspective for you.
He's got a lot of muscle. His focus should never be about putting on size anymore.
Right.
It should be about conditioning, muscle separation.
And it's going to be a different type of training for him.
Different.
More of a fitness style of training, because the mass is not just going to disappear, but he's got to rip it all up, right? We need to see the separation that we're missing in the quads.
Exactly. That's where it's
I'd
at.
like to get a hold of this guy and put him through the ringer.
Woo, man.
He looks strong as a bull, though, doesn't he?
Sure do, man.
His first Olympia appearance, he brought quite a back.
Wow. That's his first one?
That was his first one.
Oh, man, this guy, he's a force to be
Here we go. Let's see the conditioning on Big Rami.
Right. Let's see his Big Rami peak it again this year, man.
Well, we know one thing. Those legs did not come down an ounce. You see the legs, and then you see him.
Exactly.
You know what's different about Big Rami, Tim? He's got a little facial hair this year. Facial hair has made a return to the Olympia stage with Big Rami, Hadi Choopan. Who else? We got a few guys.
Reigning Mr. Olympia.
That crowd is going ballistic.
One of his best shots is that front lat spread.
Yeah.
He's going to be hard to beat.
I love the way he's taking his time and presenting. Very good.
As well he should.
Look at that separation, guys.
Now Arnold used to preach, he's a big guy, he needs to pose big. But what he's doing is he's doing the opposite. He's posing small, which gives the illusion of being bigger and thicker. But I think he needs to pose bigger, right, Lee?
He needs to pose big, that's right.
He's scrunching down like a little guy.
Exactly. You can't, that's one of the things that Arnold said to me when I was just getting started. He said, Lee, you got to pose big.
Yeah.
And which he introduced me to his posing coach.
Right.
To make sure I learn how to pose big.
Right. And again,
makes all the difference.
We come back to those posing trunks, Lee.
Yeah.
A little bit small.
Yeah.
He's showing off some glutes. See how low he gets on that? Drops down to show the hamstring. I think it's a little bit too much crunch. Like, I'd like to see him stand up erect.
Right, yeah, exactly. I mean, with those kind of wheels on the Rami really don't have to drop down.
Right.
I mean, he have monstrous legs standing straight up.
He's bottom heavy, though. I mean, you look at him.
Yeah.
He's like Hassan. Hassan had big legs. I don't know that they're really as ripped as they were last year. They look full blown.
Yeah. He's a little bit he got a film.
He definitely has a
slight film. So, and
bottom.
again, tomorrow is, it's another day.
I want to see him compared to the other guys because the legs are really overpowering the upper body tonight.
You're about to see him up against everybody else.
That's why we're here.
Right. I don't know if he's got a film. He's got a whole theater.
Yeah.
Well, now we've seen them individually. Let's see them together. That's where the test of the metal.